And to touch and reach you, heart and soul, my love.
Good morning, Sacramento Center for Spiritual Living. Welcome. Welcome to our Pieces into Peace month. We're excited about this theme. And today we have some really exciting things happening. First of all, remember, turn off your cell phones. That's helpful. And I wanted to just share with you, we had another Gourmets for God event yesterday. It was the drum circle in the park, and our wonderful Sue and Laura hosted us. We got to go for a nature walk. We had instructions on how to do some drumming. It was wonderful, and they had a wonderful lunch. Just a great time, and just want to encourage everyone in the future, if you want to host a Gourmets for God or you want to bid on them, they're just wonderful. Wonderful community connection. So thank you, Sue and Laura. That was great. Before we go any further, we wanted to ask if there was any demonstrations. And a demonstration is really answered prayer. Does anybody have anything that happened this week? Anne?
Actually, the group has been praying for my sister, Betty, who is chronic pain, and they've been praying that the new medication that she's getting is going to help with that. And this week she said, yeah, there's not much pain left. So
wonderful. Excellent. We do have a wonderful prayer team, let me tell you, and we'll talk about that more when we talk about announcements at the end. Anybody else have any demonstrations, answer prayer? Yes.
I've just been on about a 2,000-mile trip back to where I was raised. And on that trip I delivered a number of amends, some posthumously, about 60 of them. And the freedom is just amazingly powerful, and really evidence to me that the one does work in my life. So I'm grateful.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Don. Yes. Isn't it amazing how the one makes a difference in our lives? Yes. Okay. Anybody else? Last call? All right. Let's go on. So let's repeat together our vision, mission, and purpose. It's just a great way to remind ourselves why we're here. Okay? So our vision is we are a welcoming sanctuary community where all are accepted, valued, and supported in the global family. And our mission? We inspire personal and global transformation through the teachings of science of mind. and our purpose. In joy and love we connect in service to all life. And I'm going to welcome to the stage for our invocation Reverend Mitch Austin. He is our guest speaker today. We're so excited to have him here. So now, help me say this correctly. You are almost...
Well, I'm actually a provisionally licensed Center for Spiritual Living minister.
Yay!
Yeah.
Yes, and you're very active at CSL in
Grass Valley.
Grass Valley.
So I am candidating there. It's no secret. So it's looking good.
Yes,
Good.
excellent. Well, welcome and thank you for bringing us in.
So let's just take a collective breath in and just releasing anything that's come before this moment. As we turn within to the innermost chamber of the Most High, that inner sanctuary of our being, where all is well, our divine connection to the One. And so I speak my word over this service, knowing that it unfolds in the love of the One, the wisdom of the One, and the grace of God. And so I know that through the message, through the music, through the fellowship, what needs to be heard will be heard, what needs to be healed will be healed, and what needs to be revealed will be revealed. And so I simply give thanks. I give thanks for this beautiful, shining star of the divine called Sacramento Center for Spiritual Living, and all that support it, and all who are in the room today. We are each shining our light as the piece of the divine we are into each other, into community. So I just give thanks. I give thanks for this beautiful, joyful, healing time together. I release this word into the perfect activity of love and law, and together we say, and so it is.
And now for our readings. If we look at our problems as universal intelligence showing us something, they're no longer problems. They're opportunities for growth. Instead of saying, "Why did this happen to me?" ask the universe, "What are you trying to show me? Help me understand what it is." Jackie Reed. And from Ernest Holmes, we want peace on earth. Let us pray for peace in our own hearts. Let us affirm peace in our own minds. Let us live as though peace were the mandate of God, because it is. And last, let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me, Jill Jackson. Okay, now we are going to welcome our guest musician today. We're so excited. Sam Miller has graced us with her beautiful voice many times, and she just gets better every time she comes to see us. We're pretty excited about that. And she's backed up with some beautiful technology, including our sound guy back there. We're so happy to have him. Thank you, Rick. And so Sam's going to sing Imagine, a song we all love very much.
Sorry.
Let's give it up for Sam Miller again. And while we're at it, can we give it up for Sue, and Laura, and Ruth? So grateful to be with you. Yes. Great to be here. There's so many places we could be that aren't as great as this place. Yes? And we're all here in community. Turn to somebody and say, glad you're here today. Glad you're here today. We got to have somewhat of a technical glitch, right? So I'm just at the tail end of a little something. You might have noticed I was wearing a mask. And in an abundance of caution, I want to make sure we keep us all safe. So that's why we're also not doing the workshop today. I'm sorry. But I do promise to come back and do the workshop, Embracing Your Divine Inheritance, I think it is. Yeah, this is a new one. So I've done a lot of workshops that I've repeated. Now we got a new one. So I will be back for that. So with New Thought, we look to many different traditions to glean the truth, the spiritual truth. And sometimes we're looking at Christianity or Judaism or Buddhism or Hinduism or maybe some modern day mystics. Who's any Wayne Dyer fans?
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
he totally got me on this road. I have so many good stories about this. And in fact, today I'll be borrowing from Bruce Lee, who I think was a mystic, and Greg Brayton, who actually, through some of his work, turned me on to today's topic. So we're going to be working with the wisdom of the Essenes, which was a mystical Jewish sect, and they were very strict in their practice. And they went away after the first Jewish-Roman War. They kind of disappeared, and then they came back into view again with the Dead Sea Scrolls. And we found all of this amazing wisdom. And the wisdom specifically that we're going to look at in their practice is that they believed our reality is a reflection of 7 mirrors. One of these 7 mirrors, everything that we experience in our energetic field. And this aligns with our belief in teaching and cause and effect, right? It is done unto us as we believe. And with the belief systems we have collectively, conscious and subconscious, right, that creates an energy. And that first law of vibration, everything's moving, right? And then everything's moving, and it's moving to the alike thing. And so these mirrors help us see what's in the subconscious. Who wants to know what's in the junk drawer of their mind? Anyone like that subconscious? A few loose screws for me. I don't know. And it's getting kind of judgy out there, isn't it? I mean, the election season, they say you should never judge somebody unless you walk a mile in their shoes. Yes? That way you're a mile away and you have their shoes. It all works. It all works. And in fact, we know that we tend to see what we believe is true. We actually have a piece of our brain called the reticular activating system. And it acts as a filter to filter out anything we're not looking for. Anybody ever shop for a car, like you're looking for a red Volvo, and all of a sudden there's red Volvos everywhere? Right? Because that's your reticular activating system filtering things out. So this concept that what's being reflected to us, what we're experiencing, is actually reflecting what we believe or think is true. So we're going to unpack that on a different level. And that's why I'm calling today's talk, The Mirror Don't Lie. Sometimes we wish it would. Now just get rid of this wrinkle. Of the 7 mirrors, we're going to focus on 3. The first mirror we're going to focus on is, what am I in this moment? So is what's being reflected what I am being, thinking, and vibrating in this moment? That's the first mirror. The second mirror we're going to look at is, how is what's happening in this moment what I judge? What I judge? What I have some kind of attachment to, really strong attachment. Pet peeves, those pop up. And then the last one is, what in this moment is reflecting to me what I've lost or has been taken? The life mirror that we're talking about here, this outpicturing, is based on the law of reflection. Ernest Holmes says, The law of reflection, life is always mirroring to us as conditions the images of our thinking. This law is impersonal, neutral, receptive, and reactive. In other words, it don't judge. It does not have any judgment. It just says, here it is, here it is, here it is. Although sometimes, right, even though we're getting a reflection, imagine looking in the mirror, you're looking in the mirror, and you're like, ooh, I don't really like that wrinkle. And you reach out on the mirror and you try to change it. Right? That's silly. That would be silly. That doesn't change anything. But how often, sometimes, do we want somebody to change so we'll feel better? Right? We want a condition to change. We want the mirror to change so something in us will change. Right? If the neighbor just takes down their political information, I'll feel better. When my child settles down and gets married, that was my mom. I'll feel better. When I lose 30 pounds, I'll feel better about my body, right? Whatever it is. But that's photoshopping. See, we got to start within, right? The I'll be happy when syndrome, it never lasts. It never lasts. So we got to do our internal work, and the mirror will help us. If you're holding a cup of coffee, and someone comes along and bumps you, right? And the coffee spills everywhere, you'll be like, well, why did you spill coffee? And you'd say, because somebody bumped into me. Right? But the truth is, you spilled coffee because that's what was in the cup. If it were tea, it would have been tea that spilled. So whatever's inside the cup of our mind is spilling out into our experience. And why are we looking at these mirrors? We're looking at them because we know that self-awareness leads to self-empowerment. Just like Maya Angelou said, when we know better, we do better. And that's all it is. But sometimes our inner critic tries to make it something else, right? That kind of self-judgment keeps us from seeing the mirror clearly. So our goal is to look at these mirrors without self-criticism or judgment. Just a lesson or a blessing to be learned. That these mirrors are a tool for greater self-awareness. I love Ivan Bijay said, freedom from blind reactivity begins with self-awareness. I don't know if anyone's had this experience. You've looked at previous versions of yourself and you go, wow, I was really reactive in that moment. Or I was really judgy. Like, we can see it clearly now. But it's harder to see in the moment. I remember at work I had an experience with my boss where I had a moment of reflection where I saw something. I was planning the St. Patrick's Day celebration and we were going to add a craft fair. And I was talking to the director. Now, mind you, I was a coordinator. So director, manager, supervisor, coordinator. I was over here. And we were talking about where to put the craft booths. And she would say something like, well, maybe we could put them on the left side of the footprint. And then I'd have something to say about that. Well, some kind of contrarian comment. And then she'd say something else, and I'd have another contrarian comment. Finally, she just looked at me, director, flipped up her pen in the air, hit the desk. She goes, what do I know? I'm just the director. And in that moment, I got a glimpse. She mirrored something back to me I wasn't seeing. That I wasn't able to be open to suggestions or good advice of people that know maybe a little more than I do, right? Because I thought I knew it all. Now I know nothing. So or at least I'm on the way to learning new things. So Carl Jung puts it this way. Carl Jung says, unless you learn to face your own shadows, you will continue to see them in others, right? That reflection. Because the world outside you is only a reflection of the world inside you. That's why we can look at the same situation and have different points of view. So let's talk about the first mirror. The first mirror is life shows us who we are in the moment. What are we believing? What are we thinking? What are we feeling? You ever been in a hurry? You got to get somewhere in the car and you hit every red light? Anyone? Yeah, or you get behind the slowest car on the road? Right? Who are you being in that moment? You're being someone who's being hurried, who's afraid of being late, so you get more afraid of being late. Or you have the opposite. You wake up and you're in one of those blissful moods and life is easy and you get on the road and you just magically hit every green light. And you're like, this is such a magical day. It's just reflecting back what we're seeing. And relationship is really the clearest way for us to see these mirrors. We can only see ourselves clearly through others if we're willing to. So I'm going to take you back in a walk in time to some of Mitch's work relationships that reflected these mirrors. So we start with the question, how is what I'm seeing in others or the conditions of my life reflecting my thoughts, behaviors, or feelings? Right? If we're feeling misunderstood, if we're feeling angry, if we're feeling reactive. So I remember I had been with the city for 10 years and I had built probably 70% of their parks and rec programs. That's a lot. And I was only a supervisor. And I thought I should be a manager, right? I was really righteous about it too. I did all this great work. And then up came a manager position. And it was between myself and another coworker. Well, he got it and I didn't. And I was really upset about it. I was really judgy about it. So you know what I did? I went and got myself a new job at a different city as recreation manager. And then I got some reflective experiences. I showed up all ready to show everyone who I was and that I was ready to be this amazing recreation manager. But what I didn't see is that there was this kind of superiorism I was walking through the door with. And I was making people react back to me with self-righteousness and judgment and how things should be for them. In fact, the woman that, the in-house candidate who didn't get the job in the other city, became my employee. And she was not happy about it. I should have been the manager. See how this is getting reflected back? Not you. And then she rallied people. It was so bad at one point I walked into the office at 7:30, true story. The senior admin assistant had no love of me at all. And I said, good morning, right? Just her and I, 7:30, just right here. Good morning. And you know what she said? Nothing. I wasn't even worth a good morning, right? So you know what I did? I got, these people don't get me. I went off and I got another job. So now I could experience mirror number 2. Because everywhere you go, there you are. So this mirror number 2 is, life is showing us what we judge. Life is showing us what we judge. Not discernment. Discernment has kind of a neutral vibration to it. I like this, I don't like that. I'm talking about our pet peeves. And I remember for a long time I was attracting friends and employees who were late. And I had a pet peeve for being on time. In fact, if I wasn't early, I was late and they were always late. See, I was attracting, I had a vibration, I had an attachment, I had a judgment to it. So the question we can ask ourselves is, what I am seeing in others, how is that a reflection of what I judge in myself or others? So there I was in my new job, convinced it was those people that were the problem. And I showed up in the city of Davis, is where I was working, and had a problem with some of my staff. You know, they weren't really loyal, and I valued loyalty big time. I was loyal. I believe that you should always, respect the people in their titles and positions. And they didn't like me so much. They were kind of judgy with me. In fact, so judgy, they ran to the HR person and said I was creating a hostile environment. Yeah, they ganged up on me. Right? Didn't feel good at all. In fact, one of the really nice pool managers, is the nicest person you'd ever meet, she had a problem with me. She said that I had asked her, what kind of program are you running here? And I actually was asking her because I didn't know at the pool which programs were happening that day and we were short-staffed. So she thought I said, what kind of programs are you running there? And what I asked was, what kind of programs are you running there? But she heard it through the filter of judgment that was already in groupthink. See how this is building up and reflecting?
Yeah.
So now I was a little longer into my spiritual awakening. I'd done some Wayne Dyer, and I figured out, well, everywhere I go, there I am. Must be me. You spot it, you got it. So I ended up leaving that job and trying to figure out, trying to heal. And so I decided to get back into the workplace. I did a contract. They wanted me to go full time. I said, sure. So now I got to live mirror number 3. Life is showing us what we have lost or what has been taken. How is what is in our environment showing us what has been lost or what has been taken? You ever meet the couple and they're total opposites? One's the talker, one's the quiet one. Yeah? There's a reason, right? The quiet one may have lost their voice, and the talker brings that lost piece into the relationship. It's very common. So there I am in my new city, and I thought I had it down. I love my staff. We had a good relationship. I'd learned some humility. I'd learned to really connect. I'd learned to not be so judgy. I'd learned to be patient. But then I got side-blinded because my boss had an anger problem. Everybody told me about, you better watch out. He'll yell at people. He'll get really mad. And he never got mad at me. I thought we had a good relationship. Until one day. I mentioned something about the pool. There must be something about pools I need to stay away from. But I said something about the pool, and I was kind of wondering why he made the comment he made, and then he just lost all sense of reality and was turning face red, screaming at me in front of another staff person, blowing my hair back. You see, I haven't recovered yet. And I'm like, and my face was turning red, my body was hot, I felt like my blood pressure going up, like I had no immune system to his anger. And what it was reminding me of was my father. My father was a very angry person, not in a healthy way, in a toxic way. In fact, I rarely, if ever, get angry because I don't know how to handle it. And I don't know how to protect myself from it. So what did I do? I left that job. See a theme here? And so now I get a job in a whole other career as an HR director. And what do they tell me about the executive director? He has a temper. And now I'm witnessing him getting mad at other people. And one day it was my turn. The law had changed around asking if somebody had a criminal record. So you had to take that off your job application. And he was out of town, so I decided, like a good employee, to be proactive and take it off the application and create a new application. Well, when he came back and he found out I did that without his permission, he came storming down the hallway. I could hear him coming. Storming down the hallway into my office, just at me. Like, what are you doing? And I'm the executive director, blah, blah, blah. And this time, I didn't get upset. This time I was in my center. This time I could see what it was, and it wasn't about me. He was afraid. I had triggered something in him, and I was very calm. I said, I'm not going to break the law. I'm not going to break the law. That's why I changed the application. Like, I was just very calm. And then pretty soon, like he was, he ran out of steam. You know how people get mad? They run out of steam. Pretty soon he's like, well, I'm sorry. Well, I didn't mean to come across this. Pretty soon he's apologizing. He's trying to make nice. And I'm not in the least, my blood pressure didn't even go up a little bit. That's a healing. That's a healing. I'd seen that I had come through that mirror. So now what assignment does the universe give me that I've learned now? How to turn righteous indignation and my position into humility. And I've learned to convert my judgment into grace and acceptance of where people are at. And to stand safely in the presence of anger. And be able to hold that energy. You know what assignment I get now? I got minister. Yeah, I graduated to minister. Here's what Michael Meade says. Michael Meade says, the soul needs an outer drama that can help awaken the inner myth that it carries and the original agreement it made before descending to earth. What if we looked back over our journey through these 3 mirrors and didn't see good or bad, but just saw the evolution of our soul moving us to the next point of this journey we call life for the purpose we were assigned? What if we just looked at it that way? We might be a lot less judgy with ourselves. We might be kinder, more loving towards ourselves and other people. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a little bit of a meditation to reflect on some of these mirrors. And we'll start with mirror number 1. So here's how I want to do it. Think of something that has been challenging, past or present, or is causing you some discontent. Just pull it up in your mind right now. Whatever it is. It could be something in the past, something with your in-laws, something with your kids, something from an old job, old boss, maybe a bully, whatever it is, some discontent or challenge. And let's just go within. Is what I'm seeing and experiencing a reflection of how I am in this moment? Or if it's in the past, how I was being in that moment. Maybe that's the mirror that was reflecting. And if it was, what was it trying to show you or teach you about yourself? No judgment, no blame. Maybe it was teaching you patience. Maybe it was teaching you boundaries. To use your voice, whatever it is. And if it isn't that mirror, let's move to mirror number 2. How is what I'm experiencing a reflection of what I judge in myself or others? How is what I'm experiencing a reflection of what I judge in myself or others? Maybe it was a betrayal, and you have a judgment about being loyal. Maybe you have a judgment about being generous with your money and your time and your gifts, and you're experiencing someone who isn't, and feeling the pain of that. So what is that situation showing you about yourself? About what you believe, about what you judge? And if it's not that mirror, it might be mirror number 3. Is what I'm experiencing helping me see what I've lost or what's been taken from me? Maybe it was a situation where you didn't speak up. You lost your voice. Maybe it's a situation where you were the angry one. You didn't know how to stand in peace. Your peace had been taken from you. What was it showing you? No judgment, no blame. Just a little more self-awareness. Now I invite you back into the room. Who got a little something through that? Was that helpful? We got a few hands. Good. I'm glad that was helpful. I was debating whether I was going to take you through that, so thank you for playing full out. And here's the thing, maybe you didn't get anything, but now you know these 3 mirrors. You know to ask a different question, because if you ask a better question, you get a better answer. Exactly. Good job, you guys are great. So, I'm going to leave you with a little wisdom from Alice in Wonderland. Metaphysical story, isn't it? It's got so much good wisdom. And I want you to guess, what mirror is the white rabbit reflecting to Alice? Okay, so as you hear this passage, I want you to think through the system of the mirrors. What mirror is the white rabbit reflecting to Alice? Alice says, "Do you love me?" "No, I don't love you," replied the white rabbit. Alice frowned and clasped her hands together, as she did whenever she felt hurt. "See," replied the white rabbit. "Now you're going to start asking yourself what makes you so imperfect and what you did wrong so that I can't love you at least a little. You know, that's why I can't love you. You will not always be loved, Alice. There will be days when others will be tired and bored with life, will have their heads in the clouds, and will hurt you. Because people are like that. They somehow always end up hurting each other's feelings, whether through carelessness, misunderstanding, or conflicts with themselves. If you don't love yourself, at least a little, if you don't create an armor of self-love and happiness around your heart, the feeble annoyances caused by others will become lethal and destroy you. The first time I saw you, I made a pact with myself. I will avoid loving you until you learn to love yourself. What mirror was the white rabbit reflecting? We all came into the world loving ourselves. Look at a baby. They're in love with their toes. Alice had lost her love of self, and she wanted it so desperately from the white rabbit. But the white rabbit knew the only way to have it is to start with it. Thank you so much. Let's take this message into prayer. So we take a deep breath in and just release it, let it go. I'm knowing that the unfolding of this wisdom continues to bloom and illumine every heart and mind touched by it. That we are each guided to the perfect destination of our unfolding we call our life. And that there's no lesson to fear, no reflection to feel bad about. There are just lessons and blessings. And so I give thanks knowing that we each carry this message of enlightenment in our own hearts, and we share it with another. Because this is a team sport, this thing called life, and we're all in it together. I release this word, and together we sing. And so it is. Blessed be.
Thank you, Reverend Mitchell.
When my mind's like a battlefield, my heart is overcome by fear, and hope seems like a ship that's lost at sea. My enemies on every side, and I'm tempted to run and hide. Your gentle whisper reaches out to me. Peace holds me when I'm broken, sweet peace that passes understanding. When the whole wide world is crashing down, I fall to my knees and breathe in your peace. Fiery arrows whistling, the terror of the night sets in, and I can feel your angels all around. I'm resting underneath the shelter of your mighty wings. Your promises are where my hope is found.
Beautiful. Thank you, Sam. We are so blessed. So now is our offering time. This is our time when we have the opportunity to give just like we just received. And as we've said many times, it's like breathing. Breathing in, breathing out, giving, receiving. So there are many ways. There's a basket going around. You can also use PayPal, and there's a code there. You can use your phone to do that. Or we have an address now. You can send something in by mail, because we have an actual building. And you see as you come in here, there's a lot of construction still going on. We have a ways to go, but look how far we've come. So if you would like to donate to the building fund and help us continue to get this place even more beautiful, just ask for an envelope, and you can put it in that envelope and indicate that it's for the building fund. Thank you so much for not only helping us get this beautiful community center together, but helping to pay the bills, because that's what we have to do when we have to take care of our home. So thank you. Let's say together our abundance affirmation, and while you're doing that, I'm going to run over to the piano so we can sing our offering song. So, in consciousness,
Abundance, I give freely, knowing that I am freely given too. So it is.
Okay. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be love. May I be peaceful and at ease. And may I be happy. One more time. May I be filled with loving kindness.
So as we talked earlier today, prayer requests go in you have a place on our website that you can ask for prayer requests. And as you could tell this morning, prayer really does work. So make sure you send those prayer requests in. Our team prays for a week and beyond, believe me, because they really do pay attention to that demonstration that happens. We're going to expect Mitch is going to come back in another time to do our workshop. We're excited to schedule that. And the class that normally is the first Saturday of the month, keep an eye. We'll get an e-blast out. We're not quite sure if we're going to have a sub for this next one or if we'll postpone that. But the board retreat will be happening that weekend, so we will keep you informed on that. And next Sunday is an exciting Sunday because it's the Animal Blessing Sunday. We're going to have our service, and we're going to expect some four-leggeds and whoever else wants to come. Reverend Sharon always talks about how one time there was a pig in the pew. So bring your pets, and bring also your remembrances of those that have gone over the Rainbow Bridge, because we're going to honor them. After the service, we're going to have a whole ceremony for our animals and to bless them. So join us for that. And now let's say together this affirmation for the week. I imagine the world living peacefully as one.
So I just affirm that as we go out upon our week, each and every person here in the room and online, that each of you are divinely directed, protected, uplifted, and celebrated in every space and place you find yourself. And so I just give thanks. I give thanks for this beautiful journey together. I release this word, and together we say, and so it is.
Wasn't that wonderful, Sam? I just gotta say. Touched my heart.
And thank you, Reverend Mitch. That was just amazing. So much the process in that, and that is wonderful. Good tools.
And I thought you were just speaking to me. Because everything you said was so in my world. I need to hook up with your classes. I'm getting on that. Okay. A song I wrote when I took the foundations class through Sharon. And so here it is. Okay. Some people come for the message, they come for the music, they come because they want to be connected. They come for the people, they come for the song, they come because they want to belong. Wherever you are, listen or search, you belong. We are all one for love, joy and peace, one for freedom to live our dreams, one for love, joy and peace, one for freedom to live our dreams. We are all
Join us in our social hall for some fellowship and some goodies and some community. Thank you all for being here.